So let's talk about the judging panels.
Okay.
Let's talk about the job that the shorts have with UK and how that went for Blackpool, and what's your 30,000-foot view on the problem here and the solution, if there is to be one, if you even think there's a problem.
I think it's another case of smoke and mirrors.
Mm.
Like, I think people are being misled, scammed, conned.
Mm.
Let me tell you why. I'm quite sure, and you've been very gracious and very amenable, but I'm quite sure one of the names that was brought up is my wife, Heidi Burns. She's never won Blackpool, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, you've heard that?
Yeah. I live in the dance world, right? So let's deal with it. Okay. There are many people who judge Blackpool who have never won Blackpool.
First, let's give some context. Heidi, your wife, she was a former youth competitor in the Latin, I remember, in America.
Yes.
Quite successful.
Yes.
She's a multi-time, perhaps, swing champion.
6 times world swing champion.
World swing champion. So this is not like she's not a dancer.
Winner of an Emmy.
Okay.
Finalist in So You Think You Can Dance.
Right. So it's not undecorated, but the charges levied are not a Blackpool champion,
Right.
not a competitor. Also true.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So let's deal with that. Heidi judged Blackpool in 2017.
The first time?
I think. Yeah, 2017.
Mm.
Nobody said a word.
Mm.
Funny that, isn't it? I'll give you a conundrum as well. I'll give you a little puzzle.
Okay.
What have the thought? Now, I'm pulling this off the top of my head, so I'm going to miss some. I'll miss some. I'll just read out some names to you from my memory bank, what's left of it. Okay. Nino Langhello. And
you have to forgive me for not knowing all the competitors' names.
Nino Langhello, Andra, Maurizio Vescovo.
These are finalists in Latin.
Yes.
Okay.
Damir,
Professional.
Haijan, Anna Mastutz, Ricardo
Latin
Cocchi.
viewers, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ballroom. Yeah.
Ricardo Cocchi, Yulia Zagorachenko. Who else? Laura and Massimo. Just to mention a few.
We're making a list of people who...
No, I'm going to ask you a question about them. Maurizio, Andra, Nino, Massimo, Laura, Damir, Anna. What have all those... Ricardo, Yulia. What have all those names got in common?
They're fantastic Latin dancers.
Right. Absolutely. They all had lessons with Heidi Burns. They all took lessons from Heidi Burns.
Mm-hmm.
And almost all of them over a substantive period of time. So if her opinion is not valid as an adjudicator, why would you pay for it repeatedly?
What if someone were to say, well, we really wanted lessons with Donnie, and to get lessons with Donnie, you got to have some lessons with Heidi too?
Absolutely untrue. Many people have lessons with me that don't have lessons with Heidi, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever been in any way, ever, pressurized, subliminally, subtly, or obviously to ever have lessons with Heidi or with me. So that is completely untrue.
Okay.
But they have...
It's not like a gatekeeper sort of thing.
No, not at all.
All right.
The concept that I want to do more teaching at Kaika is somewhere between Bob Hope and no hope. I am looking to retire, and gracefully rumble walk into the distance at a certain pace that's quite compatible with my age, but it doesn't happen.
With flat turnout.
Yeah. Right. But no, that's just one example.
So what you're saying is that Heidi not having competed or won Blackpool, as it may be, and decorated in other ways, as it may be, has been a part of, well, let's say, has been has taught these people,
Yeah.
thusly, I mean, I assume implying that her judgment of their dancing in whatever way that was, I wasn't there,
Right.
but is valid,
Yes.
especially if you look at it happening.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
And in 2017,
And so then you were saying, I guess where you're going with this is that
Yes.
why not? Why are you then not able to judge me if
Right.
you're able to teach me?
if you're able to teach me how
Uh-huh.
to win.
Uh-huh.
And she judged it in 2017. The panel was sanctioned by Marcus Hilton MBE at that time.
Mm.
Nobody batted an eyelid.
Mm. Has she judged at any of the other majors?
Yes.
Majors.
Yes. She judged the international last year.
Did she judge in January?
Yeah. Yes, she judged the UK.
The UK.
She judged the international.
I didn't hear any. Yeah.
Sorry, she judged the UK in January. So nobody batted an eyelid.
Maybe enough is enough.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Obviously.
Perhaps. I mean, these things build up, I suppose.
Well, you know,
but the teaching thing is interesting.
Well, surely. I mean, what's the answer to that one then? If enough is enough, and some of them came, Ikaika, for years.
Mm.
And for example, and I'm not casting judgment on any of this. Manfred Wang judges the international. A man from China.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody says a word.
Is he also not a?
No, not at all. I
I
don't know if he ever competed at all. I can't say that he didn't because I'm not Chinese.
Well,
But-
I mean, this.
but people pick and cherry pick according to the convenience of their argument at that time.
Like the narrative they want to.
Right? Have you ever seen any of the videos of Heidi dance?
I mean, I've seen Heidi dance live.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, end of conversation, really.
Yeah.
Right. You don't make the final of So You Think You Can Dance if you can't dance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so there's two things. One, as we started, who's selecting the panel? What criteria do they use, etc. But then, on top of that, let's say I'm at. So I competed at the embassy ball, and even if someone had said, "Why don't you choose the panel?" I mean, not that I would even know who I could pick that was going to get me to win.
Right.
You know, like say I wanted to optimize for my own winning.
Apart from
right?
your own mum, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean, maybe there's a few people that I think would be more likely, but, and I don't know, as an honest competitor, if the responsibility was given to me, would I pick a balance panel myself? And could I?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Fair
maybe
comment.
I could, but it's just so hard to untangle, and that's why just sort of off putting it. And the thing is, even thinking myself, even starting to think of what I think is a fair panel or not, is implying that I know the answer
Exactly.
about what's good and bad.
And that's
And
why
there's a sort of activism
Yeah.
there, and that
Yeah.
we know who the bad guy is, or we know what the bad side is,
right.
and so, you know, and which is already a political consideration. So once I'm thinking who the panel should be, right? I'm already in the idea of politics, which, you know, means, and I've felt that many times where I thought I danced well. I don't think I was marked fairly. Someone marked me first. Someone marked me sixth. That sucks.
So yeah, and the conclusion then can be that somebody hates you because they marked you first, or sixth, and somebody loves you because they marked you
Well, the
first.
truth is, I'm sure it happens.
Yeah. I you know, there's a human element in everything. I went to law school. There was politics in the law department at Glasgow University. I used to sell advertising in an office and for the Times newspaper.
This is back when you were a muggle
Yeah.
and not dancing.
No, I was an amateur in my day. Amateurs weren't allowed to earn any money,
Oh, that's right.
so I had to have a job in the UK.
Same, yeah. When I was amateur, that was still the rule.
Yeah, the rule was in Great Britain at that time, if you earned £1, you had to turn pro.
Wow.
So I had to have a job. I used to sell advertising in The Guardian and then in the Times newspaper. That was my job, to wine and dine media agencies
Right.
to get on the schedules
Uh-huh.
and do the ABC ones. And there was politics in the
You say
office.
ABC always be closing?
That's it.
Is that what you say?
Yeah. And you know, it's part of life. But I don't believe for a second that there's anything more significant at this time except people getting together with an agenda
You're
or
saying
a perceived
this has always sort of been the case, and
yeah. And it's not, I don't think there's much new, Kaika, but the thing that's new this time is that the silent majority of people appearing of the perception of to believe it or to go with it